Hello, and welcome to something a wee bit different. This video is a record of my diving trip in the Red Sea in August 2022. Sorry, there's no cycling in it, but hang around, you might get to see something just as exciting. Well, of course, being the Red Sea, there are beautiful corals and fish to be seen everywhere. If, like me, you like the small stuff just as much as the famous big life, your best bet is to hang around in the top 10 metres. That's where the light is best, the water is warmest, and where the life abounds. You'll find yourself swimming through shoal after shoal of cute small fish, all just going about their business, and not particularly bothered by the likes of us divers. This was a dive site called, appropriately enough, Anemone City. All around this site were fish, including clownfish, that's Nemo to you, who raised their young inside the safety of the anemone fingers. If you get close enough, they'll often come out to chase you away. They're persistent little critters. Here you can see just how big some of the coral actually grows. This is an example of a stack of plate coral, I think, which must have been at least 10 metres tall. You can see how big each plate is compared to the diver next to it here. In this shot, you can see fan coral. Again, look how big each fan is compared to the diver. This was somewhere around 15 to 20 metres deep. You can tell this by the way the ambient light is darker, and the colours are not as vibrant as when you're closer to the surface. I wasn't quite sure what the other diver was filming on the reef, but when I got there, I spotted this cool cleaning station. If you look carefully, you'll see a little sparkly cleaner fish fussing around the larger grey fish, giving him a thorough clean, lots of bites and nibbles. Wow, sometimes the current along the reef was just crazy. Look how fast this coral's going past. We were lucky enough to see hammerheads on a few of our dives. Sometimes they were on their own, like these two. And then we were visited by this big school. They circled under us for quite some time, and they even seemed to have a minder who just swam a bit closer to us just to keep an eye on us. How cool was that? But hang on, it gets even better. So, at a reef called Daedalus, we were briefed to look out for oceanic white-tip sharks. As you can see in these clips, they have a distinctive pointed tail and rounded fins, with, as the name suggests, white tips. We were told if one approaches to stay calm, get vertical to present a bigger profile, and always face the shark. That way, they might be curious, but they'll be a bit less inclined to be bitey. And then, at the end of one dive, the promised encounter took place. One curious individual circled our group as we were making our safety stop under the boat. Then at one point, he came in for a closer look. Now, I've been diving for well over 20 years, and I must say, that's up there with my top moments. Who doesn't love manta rays? They're just big, gentle giants, and they're very curious. This one, which funnily enough made me think of Batman, stayed above us for quite some time, having a good look. Of course, the other group reported they had one swimming between them all, but hey, I had an oceanic whitetip in the face, so I can't complain. This chap was amazing. He was the largest of a group of 3 Napoleon wrasse, and he was really friendly. He came to look at everyone in the group, and then came back to see me again. I think he was fascinated by the yellow handle of my camera. He probably thought it was something he could eat. Well, either that, or he just loves being on camera. These shots of the Moris were all taken at a place called Little Gifton Island, and that really was the Gifton that keeps on giftoning. The ground there was covered in Moris of all shapes and sizes. Sometimes they look as if they're snapping or snarling at you as they open and close their jaws, but really they're just sensing what's around them. If you look under the rock in the middle of the screen here, you'll see a bit of argy-bargy happening between a Mori and a big triggerfish. You can see a bigger Mori on the right hand side too. We weren't sure if the trigger was trying to get under the Mori's rock, but as it's nesting season for the triggers, it could well have been that the Mori had invaded the trigger's nest. The triggerfish is definitely not giving up quietly, not even when the larger Mori on the right turns round to have a word. Just before we finish, I can't leave without showing some other amazing life that we encountered, such as this funny little filefish, and of course all the gorgeous pipefish around them. Also, this gorgeous octopus. Everybody had been photographing him and he was getting anxious. You can see that by the way he turns white. So I backed off to give him some peace. There were also loads of massive barracuda, sometimes on their own, and sometimes, as you can see, in huge shoals. And who can forget the beautiful blue spotted stingrays, either lying peacefully on the sand or flying gracefully. Beautiful. Well, that's it for my first underwater movie. I had a fantastic week in the Red Sea. Big thank you to the crew and dive team aboard Hurricane for a great week, and also to my fellow divers who were great company both below and above the water. I'll leave you with this view of the wreck of the Namibia, who, like me, was built on the River Clyde in Scotland, and who is resting, just like I was, in the Red Sea. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.